Hello, I'm Jonathan.
And I'm Sam.
And this is Progression in Progress. Okay, so Sam, I've been thinking about this question a lot lately, and I want to get your opinion. I want to get a few other people's opinions, and I just kind of want to have a discussion about this question. And the question is, what's more important for high-level success? And what I mean by high-level success is not the typical success that one might find in their life. These, what you would call success, these things that are very important, like landing a job, getting a promotion in a job, getting a pay raise, graduating, getting good grades, all that stuff. That's all great stuff, and that is all success. But what we're talking about here with high level, extreme, next level success, it's like Kanye West success, Elon Musk, Jeff Bezos, just crazy levels of success. So the question is, what's more important for high level success, luck or hard work? So what are your initial thoughts on this question, Sam?
I think my initial first gut thing is definitely hard work. Whenever you hear about any of these kinds of people, first thing you kind of hear about is kind of their life story of most of the time coming out of some kind of, either bad family background or just just not advantageous position. Can't talk. And then getting out of that and, just working really hard and, getting to where they are.
Yeah, that's really interesting that you bring that up. I had a friend in San Diego who kind of talked about like stories, great stories. And like each nation, each country has like their own great story. And it's kind of defined by the literature and the culture over a period of time. And he was talking about, for example, like the UK or Britain, their whole thing is about the hero story, with British nobility. I might be getting this wrong, but this is what he told me. British nobility is very important, and that's kind of where their background comes from. So the hero story is very important to them. And then here in America, it's kind of the opposite of the hero story. Mm-hmm. It's the underdog story. When you look all throughout culture, when you look at popular media, even today, and you look at the people who people root for, it's always the underdog. People love underdog stories. They want the underdog to win. It's just like a feel-good underdog story.
Oh, definitely. Yeah. I can't even think of any kind of, self-made American entrepreneur that not many have some kind of position where they came from riches and made more riches. It seems to always be some kind of underdog story, or at least it's publicized.
Mm-hmm. So you would think most people, or you would think the just natural answer to this would be hard work.
Oh, definitely.
But I kind of want to, so the inspiration for this question was, I was listening to a podcast with one of my favorite creators on YouTube. His name's Casey Neistat. And I don't know if, for those of you who aren't familiar with Casey Neistat, let me describe him a little bit for you. And Sam, feel free to chime in because I know you've watched a ton of his videos and a ton of his work before. But Casey is like a workaholic, like a serial workaholic. He filmed a vlog for 800 days in a row. If anyone were to teach like a masterclass, a masterclass on vlogging, my vote would be for Casey. I think Casey would do it. He's been in like the film industry for like a long, long time. He had an HBO show in the mid 2000s. His favorite hobby is running like 10 miles at a time. He's also started several, in addition to his incredibly successful YouTube channel, he started Beam, which is a company that sold to CNN for a decent amount of money. And he's also in the process of starting a new company to help creators called 368. So this guy's like a serial workaholic. He has numerous videos. Here's a few titles of videos that I pulled up called like Do What You Can't, No Excuses, Work Harder, Intensity. This guy is like, I feel like the classic be on the grind, right? Would you say so?
Oh, definitely. I mean, I think even on his own podcast that he's had, he talks regularly about how he just has no time for anything. He wishes he can do more with his family, trying to just accomplish everything that he sought out to do. So he's definitely a prime example of a workaholic.
Yeah, he's like I remember one video that I watched from he like described his daily schedule, and he like goes to bed at midnight, wakes up at like 4 or 5 a.m., gets right to work, and then goes for like a 3-hour run, 2-hour run, and then keeps working until he gets home at night, you know, just like I don't know, just a crazy workaholic in my opinion. But we have the whole reason we're talking about this is there was this clip from a podcast that I was listening to where Casey was being interviewed. And I want to play that clip for you guys, and what he says might surprise you guys.
Until you like stop the sprint and like you're just sitting there catching your breath, looking around, it's hard to realize just how special.
Right.
And like a word that I use that hardworking, successful people don't like to use is lucky.
Yeah.
Like that hustle, hard work, like all of it's bullshit. Luck is 98% of it, being at the right place at the right time. And the 2% is talent and hard work and all that other stuff. Like, come on.
I really don't know how I feel about it. I
Not
can't.
2%.
Okay, I'll go 3%, but I won't go. I make cool YouTube videos. And that warrants this insane life that I have.
It's
no, Casey,
fortunate,
no
but-
one can make your videos.
Well, I appreciate
even
you.
though everyone
No,
tries.
but also you're psycho, bro, and I mean that as a compliment. Like
Thank you.
you posted a video every day for 800 days. I mean, that's not luck.
Have you ever met like a coal miner or a construction worker who's worked OT 800 days in a row? Because they exist.
Have I ever met a coal miner?
Yeah, do you know any coal
No.
miners? I really don't know any either, but I do know this. Coal miners work way harder than a vlogger
Well, that's okay.
or a podcaster, but they
but-
don't get to live these ridiculous lives that we get to live in New York.
All right. So he used some pretty strong language saying that it's 90, what did he say? 98%, 97%. I think he said 98% luck. And he said, screw hard work, screw the hustle, screw the grind. It's like 98% luck.
Yeah, that's crazy. Coming from his background to just he pretty much dismisses all of his accomplishments as just being luck, almost as if he had nothing to do with it. Which it's kind of crazy.
It's kind of whack. You would think his opinion would be the opposite, especially considering all the videos he's made. And I'm not saying he's a hypocrite or anything like that. You just wouldn't expect his opinion to be that.
Yeah, I do wonder if there's a little bit of imposter syndrome that kind of makes up that opinion. Like I feel like a lot of people that are just uber successful probably, they probably don't even believe they kind of deserve it, or they even did all the work that they did, or realize how hard they worked to finally get to where they were. So I wonder if that has a little bit to kind of go into that.
I mean, I'm not super familiar with the imposter syndrome, but that maybe it could be that. But it's just when I heard that, when I was listening to that podcast, the H3H3 podcast, and then he said that, and I was like, that makes zero sense considering his past work, how he lives his life, and all that. And I think it's. I don't think we should just dismiss it. I think it's a valid viewpoint. Every viewpoint is valid. Obviously, he's done more with his life at this point than I have, so we can't just dismiss his opinion. Everyone, even if it sounds crazy, everyone has a reason for saying what they say. And in their mind, it makes 100%, it makes sense to them. So I think it's worth trying to discuss what he's thinking, or maybe just point out some things. And maybe get some other people's opinion on what they think.
Yeah, definitely. I think what he's saying is probably true for some people as well. Like, there are probably some people that just randomly stumble upon money. They win the lottery, or they, maybe they just fall into a rich family or something and just take over a family business and just inherit all this wealth. But I don't know if I could say that everyone is just, or luck is everything.
Yeah. Okay. So I actually posted on my Instagram, Jonathan, by the way, go give it a follow. I posted on my Instagram and asked people what they thought. Which one? I did a little poll and asked people to vote on it and see, or to get their opinion. So I just asked the question, what's more important for high level success? And then so that was in my stories. And then along with that, I posted a video kind of explaining the whole situation. Not the inspiration, but I explained, the definition of high level success, extreme success. And what do you think the polls results were, Sam? What do you think people voted?
I would think that most people, I think in this day and age, I think most people probably voted for more luck than hard work.
Really? Well, according to the polls, I think we had around 50 people respond. 79% said hard work and 21% said luck.
Interesting.
So most people, well, obviously it's a very small sample size, but according to my friends on Instagram, they said 79% of people said hard work was more important. I thought that was really interesting. But I don't know. It's you would think, I feel like most people's default answer would be hard work. So that's why it was so surprising to me when I saw Casey say that it was all luck, 98% luck. So to get some more people's perspective, because I feel like me and Sam are both on the hard work side. Would you say you're on the hard work side, right? Or am I mischaracterizing? How do you speak? Misrepresenting your views?
No. I think I'm pretty mostly on the hard work side as well. There definitely can be some luck involved, but definitely hard work for the most part.
So I wanted to get other people's point of view, so we're not in a vacuum chamber over here. And we're going to call up two people, both named Andrew, coincidentally. The first person we're going to interview is Andrew Harker, a good friend of mine from high school. We both were in the same film class. And he took the position of luck. He voted luck. So we're going to give him a call and hear his perspective and just kind of see what he has to say about this. So we got my man's Andrew Harker here, and he voted that luck was more important than hard work for high level success. And I kind of just wanted to get your opinion on that and why you chose luck over hard work.
So I don't know. That's one of those things that it's kind of complicated. And like for me, I've definitely gone like back and forth between those two views. But at the end of the day, I think luck is definitely has like a huge part in like whether or not you're successful and like famous or whatever, because you could have like the smartest guy in the world. He could be going to like all these like Ivy League like colleges and doing all this stuff. But if he doesn't have connections, like if not necessarily like his parents know people, but like if he doesn't know people and he doesn't have those connections, then like it's just kind of void. So it's kind of like what situation you're born in. And like, I kind of want to stay away from like that whole, like
the idea of privilege based off your birth and stuff like that.
I don't know. I think that all people have like an equal like opportunity in this life to make something. Like we may not all start in the same spot in life, but we each have unique opportunities given to us that we can take hold of and make something with. And so, everybody has those like one way or another. So like one person could be like super, super good at video games or whatever. Another person could be really good at film, business, whatever it is. Everybody has their potential to become something great. It's just like, are you going to have the luck in order to like get into the spotlight? And that's like really like surface level, and we can go into it more, but that's just kind of like what I see from it. Like right at the surface is like everybody has potential for greatness. It's just, can they be in the perfect situation for that to like rocket them up to like fame or fortune or whatever it is.
Yeah, that actually makes a lot of sense, because I'm on the hard work side of things. So I wanted a different perspective, and that actually makes a lot of sense. We're all, you're kind of saying, and correct me if I'm wrong, but you're saying, we're all dealt a deck of cards, that is our life, and different decks of cards kind of tend to being more, they set you up for that high level success. Everyone has a deck that they can work with, but certain decks set you up for that high level success.
Yeah. And so while I think that's true, I don't want to discredit hard work, because hard work, like that can definitely get you places. And I think that hard work can get you like, I don't know. It's complicated, and I'm on the edge of it because I like really, really, really value hard work, and I've seen how that's helped me in film. Like compared to other people, and I don't want to like bag on them, but I've seen that when I put in hard work, like much more than anybody else is willing to, I can get to places that other people aren't able to get. And that's fine. And that's good. But when I take a step back, like look at the level that I'm at right now. I'm in the high school level. So right now it is the difference of hard work or not hard work. But like, I think there's like a certain point, like imagine it like this. It's like the prices of different cameras, right? So like when you buy a $500 camera, it's going to have some like okay features. When you buy a $5,000 camera, it's going to have a lot of better features. But then when you go from the $5,000 camera to like the $10,000 camera, it's like
diminishing returns.
Yeah. So I think it's like that for hard work as well.
I see what you're saying.
The higher you go, hard work can give you less to like get you more. Like, you know what I'm trying to say? Like at that highest level, it's like luck is like the thing that you need to get higher. Like hard work is really good until just like that top like 0.1%.
Which is what we're talking about. You know, the question I posed was high level, you know, extreme success.
Yeah.
So I see what you're saying, that these, you know, hard work will get you super far, and hard work is very important. But once you hit that certain threshold, you kind of have to get lucky to break through to that next level.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's interesting.
Yeah. And then, but I think that a lot of people, they look at that like crazy success as like the only type of success. And I think that's a problem because success isn't necessarily like this huge thing where like you live in this fancy house and you have like 5 more that you can like go to whenever you want, all these cars and stuff. Success is being stable. It's being able to do what you want to do and have the freedom to do that. And for me personally, success is being able to like raise a family at the same time of doing what I want to do. Because I want to do film, but if I can't do film at the same time as raising a family, then I have to figure out a different way to put in that hard work in order to get places. Because I think luck is such a big part of the film industry that like it's not necessarily like it's not guaranteed that I will get places in film. So that's kind of why I said that luck is so important, because I think that's more true for film than it is for other things, for sure.
No, I would definitely agree. A lot of times film can be a game of who you know and, you know, who's willing to give you opportunities. But that I really, really actually love what you said, that, you know, success isn't necessarily this top 1% of 1% of 1%. Success is being able to do, you know, set goals for yourself and then achieve those goals and kind of set up your own, you know, whatever your parameters are for success. If you achieve that, you know, that's success. Who's to say that just because you don't have as much money or as many houses or, you know, you're not at that top 1%, that isn't success. I think that's a really important mindset. And I actually really appreciate you saying that.
For sure.
Thanks. Sam, you got any comments, any thoughts?
Yeah, no, I really like that as well. You know, I think that so many people are just so fixated on just getting that top level of success, that top level of wealth, when in reality, most, I would say that, I think everyone needs to kind of, you know, reassess what they actually kind of need or what they want out of life, because at the end of the day, in order to be happy, you kind of have to do what you want to do, but then you also have to feel, you know, supported in doing that. So I think what you were saying, like, you know, if you wanted to raise a family while also being able to do film, I think it's like that level of success, like it might not be the same as other people's, but at the same time, that would probably make you more happy if you were able to do that than if you were, you know, just, you know, so crazy busy that you would have to do all your time just to kind of work to, either just do film or just raise a family,
Yeah.
things like that.
And so another interesting thing that I just thought of was, another thing that like the success and like luck and everything that it's like tied into is like the American dream, right? So we always hear like, oh, like the American dream, like there's this debate that like, oh, in this country, can anybody find success? And I really think that that's based on how do you view success? Because if you view success as this monetary thing, this like thing where you have to have money and you have to have cars and houses and whatever, then I think that's not true. I think not everybody can get that. But I think the true meaning of success is self-actualization. That's the truest form of success, because it doesn't matter at the end of the day. Nobody cares in 100 years. They won't remember you if you like had like $1 million. I don't know. Maybe they will. Maybe did something really cool with that. But chances are nobody's going to remember you for your money or whatever. They're going to remember you because you did what you wanted to do and you fulfilled your life and you did something that means more than money and lasts more than money. So in that sense, I think that the American dream is true. And I think that hard work does matter more.
Yeah, that's hit me hard. That makes a lot of sense. That, success, not everyone's just by definition of statistics, not everyone can hit that top 1% of that 1%. That's just statistically impossible. But that doesn't mean everyone can't be successful. Just like you were saying, Andrew, that, it's your own version of success. What's important to you? What do you want to achieve? And what's going to make you the most happiest? And I think that's probably the most important part, that word happy. What's going to make you, what version of success is going to make you the most happy? Yeah. And I think I personally sometimes have a problem with this, and I'm sure there's other people who have a problem with this. I feel like everyone wants to hit that top 1% of 1%, but in reality, that's not feasible. Not everyone can hit that top 1% of that 1%, that ultra extreme levels of success. And not to say that people shouldn't chase your dreams and you shouldn't set your goals high, that you shouldn't work super hard, to achieve what you want to achieve. But I think I could personally benefit, and hopefully other people could benefit by taking a step back and, really defining what success for you is personally, instead of saying, okay, here's this monetary goal I want to have, here's this materialistic goal I want to have. But instead, people could really benefit from saying, okay, here's what I want out of my life. This is what my version of success is going to be. And then go and achieve that instead of trying to hit that top 1% of 1%.
Yeah. Yeah. So when I respond to your poll, I guess, because this conversation has really like opened it up for me. I mean, to be honest, when I did the poll, I was thinking more about like film and that top 1% and stuff. But when we're having this conversation, I realized that I think that in a sense, both answers are correct, that in one type of success requires hard work and one type of success requires luck. And I think that we've clearly defined the differences between those. And I think that the type of success that everybody can achieve requires hard work. And one problem in society today with young people, I mean, I'm a young person, but one problem today is that people don't realize that the success that their parents had and their grandparents had, and for generations, the success that brings people happiness is the success that requires hard work, not luck. You can't go out there with a camera and vlog unless that's what you love to do. But if you don't love to do it, don't do it. But you can't just, force your way into this this happiness without the hard work of true success.
Yeah. One thing that I was thinking about, sorry, go ahead, Sam. Were you going to say something?
Oh, I was just going to say, what you were kind of talking about just kind of reminded me of kind of an anecdote. So it kind of reminded me of, if anyone's kind of played any kind of single player kind of video game, or any video game really, there's all these systems out there where you can kind of go in there and kind of hack hack your game or cheat the system to kind of get everything in the game like early on, or without having to really do anything. And when you're first kind of starting out and playing any of these kinds of games, you're kind of going through and you're kind of, you're kind of putting in the work for it. But then as soon as you find out there's kind of an easy way to do that, it's really tempting just to kind of go in there and use those cheats or those hacks and get everything all at once. And as soon as you kind of get all that, a lot of the time, like, you just kind of feel almost kind of empty, or just as if you didn't really, you didn't really work for it, or just kind of was given to you. And I kind of feel like it's kind of similar to what you were kind of saying, to where, even though you can have all those things, if you don't go through the journey and actually work to get everything, sometimes it just doesn't really give you the same amount of happiness or satisfaction as actually putting in the work, going through that grind.
Mm-hmm.
Dang. Okay. Well, we started out in one direction, talking about luck versus success. And then this conversation is out here changing my life. So thank you, Andrew, for that. That was pretty sweet.
Yeah, for sure.
No, I really appreciate it. I think we discovered and talked about something important, that, we started out at the beginning of this talking about the top 1% of the 1% and, posing that question about the top 1% and, what's more important. But in reality, that's not, I guess, talked about what was really the most important thing, and it's not that top 1%, but it's your personal success and your personal happiness and the kind of journey you go through and what you have to put in to get there. That's pretty profound and definitely had an impact on me.
Yeah. So I guess in closing, now I would agree with you that hard work is more important than luck for true success. So
for true success, which is the goal. True success is the goal, because like we were talking about earlier, that 1% isn't just based off statistics. That's not going to happen for everyone. But that true success that we were talking about is, like you said, the American dream. That's probably achievable for almost everyone, if not everyone.
Yeah.
Dang. All right, dude. Thank you so much.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, thanks
coming in clutch.
yeah, for sure.
So that conversation took a little bit of a different turn. I think it was a good turn. It was a little different than what I expected.
Yeah, definitely.
But we're going to bring it back to the initial question just to get another viewpoint. And then maybe we'll ask Andrew Phelps, my brother. Shout out to Andrew Phelps for coming in clutch. We got Andrew Harker, and then we got Andrew Phelps, true champions. Okay, so Andrew, how you doing?
I'm doing fine. Just fantastic, as I just said. But overall, an 8 out of 10.
Good.
Pretty good.
So thank you. First off, thank you so much for supporting me and being on this. I really appreciate it. Thank you. And so according to your Instagram poll, or the answer you gave to my Instagram poll, the question being, what's more important for high level success? You voted hard work.
I did.
So, and then I sent you that clip about Casey, or with Casey and H3H3. Mm-hmm. That was kind of the inspiration behind this. And I just kind of want to hear your general thoughts, what you think, and why you voted hard work over luck.
Well, the reason why I voted hard work is because, you don't hear about someone just sitting around laying on the couch and they get lucky and then boom, they have success. I guess it's kind of an extreme scenario, but it does work. And then, but you hear all the time about these people who come up from the bottom and they're like, yeah, I had to put in the hard work. I don't know. There's a lot of examples out there, but in today's age, especially what I watch, it's mostly rappers. There's people out here living in the ghetto, the projects, and then they put in the hard work, they make their music, they come out on top, and you see them flexing their jewelry, and they're worth millions of dollars now. I don't know. That's just kind of what I was thinking when I selected hard work, but I know there's a lot of other stuff that is involved.
So you were kind of thinking about pop culture icons.
Icons, yeah.
And a big theme, especially in music, especially in rap, is that, started from the bottom, now we here.
Exactly. Drake.
Yeah. So it's, everyone putting in the grind, hard work, and then that's where their success comes from instead of getting lucky. So that's what you were thinking when you selected that.
Mm-hmm.
And what did you,
Oh, go ahead.
No. You go ahead. Go ahead.
Okay, thank you. So while you were talking about that, another person that came to mind was social media influencer Gary Vee. And Gary Vee is all about putting in the hard work, doesn't hold anything back. He'll cuss you out if you're doing terrible, and he's all about going to the hard work, putting in that grind. So subconsciously, I was thinking that when I selected hard work. So that's what I was going to say. Now, Jonathan.
Yeah,
Yeah,
for
well-
those who don't really know, Gary, I don't know if I'm saying Gary Vaynerchuk, is that how it's
Yeah,
pronounced?
that's right.
Yeah.
He's basically, I think he runs his main business. I think he runs a big media company, and
It's like a marketing firm,
yeah,
kind of with a focus on modern day media.
yep. And his whole thing is, you can always be working harder. You can always be doing more to grow your businesses or to improve your life. There's always more ways you can go out to make money. Just things like that. So
Yeah, this guy, just an example, this guy's like the epitome of the grind. This guy's worth hundreds of millions of dollars. He's an early investor in some big tech companies, and he grew, his like starting story, his come up story, his underdog story. We were kind of talking about that earlier, Sam. He like grew his dad's wine business from, like just exponentially grew his dad's wine business. And that's where he got his start. And then he was an early investor in other companies. And now he's doing his thing with advertising and media and marketing. But just an example of how hardcore he is about the grind. This guy who's worth hundreds of millions of dollars and, probably doesn't get to see his family a lot. And he talks about his family being important. But one thing that he does is he goes garage sailing on the weekends.
Mm-hmm.
He goes garage sailing on the weekends just to show people that you can get out there, be on the grind, and make some money on the side. He doesn't have to be doing that. It's not probably worth his time financially. He could be doing other things that are worth more money, but he goes out and garage sales on Saturday mornings just to show people that you can be on that grind. So, Andrew bringing up Gary Vaynerchuk is probably a good example of the hard work, the success, the grind, 24/7, just not 24/7, but, just on the grind type of hard work type of guy.
Yeah.
Yep.
So what did you, Andrew, you've watched a lot of Casey Neistat.
I have.
And what did you think when he said, he's a pretty serial hard worker. He's a on the grind type of dude. What did you think when he said, it's 98% luck?
I was like, I was really confused because Casey Neistat is like probably one of the hardest working YouTubers. Like he had a daily vlog. I don't know how long. I think
it
maybe a
was
year around
like 800 days. I heard.
Okay. Never mind. Not a year, like almost 2 years. And then like he worked so hard on that vlog that he had like trouble in his marriage. I mean, and then he comes out here and says luck. It got me like really confused because I'm not like, you're not lucky that you get millions of views all the time. You put in the hard work and you put out that vlog every day, and then that vlog is successful, and it's successful because you worked hard, not because it's lucky or anything.
No, I think that's pretty interesting, and I appreciate your comments. Thanks for hopping on and giving your 2 cents, and thank you for voting on my poll, and most of all, thanks for being a good brother. Thank you.
You're welcome.
So that was 2 pretty interesting conversations, 2 different point of views, 2 different conversations. I enjoyed those both.
Yeah, I think it was really interesting. Like it really opened my eyes to kind of the 2 different sides. But I feel like for both conversations in the end, it kind of came. Everyone kind of came to the same-ish kind of conclusion that hard work really does make a difference. But then to really get to the highest level, there's a little bit of luck involved in that as well.
Yeah. Well, one thing that Casey said in that interview, and I think it was in that audio clip that I played, that audio clip, he said, right place, right time. He used that phrase.
Mm-hmm.
And I think and he kind of said it in a way where it denoted that all of being right place, right time was all luck. Kind of is what he denoted, I felt like. But in reality, in my opinion, I think there's 2 parts of it: right place, right time. And the right place is hard work, the hard work portion of it. And then the right time is the luck portion of it, What do you think about that?
Definitely. I mean, you can't be in the right place if you haven't moved to that place. It's like you can't get to the end of the finish line of a race if you didn't, run the distance and get to the finish line. And so I think that, you have to be putting in that hard work. You have to be putting in the time, perfecting your craft, working towards some kind of goal. If you're not doing any of that, no matter how lucky you are, you're not going to really achieve any kind of goals. I mean, you can get lucky with, other ways, just winning money or whatever. But if we're talking about like success in a career or through like a business or something like that, you have to be working in order for that. You have to be working hard, and then that kind of has to intersect with some kind of timing with the market, to what people need to get that luck portion of it to really bolster your success.
No, I agree that you can't be in the right place at the right time if you don't get off your lazy butt to be in that place. You have to be doing something. You have to be in a position to win. You have to be working on something, taking risks, putting yourself out there and be in that position. And this isn't like meant to like be like a hard disagree or like contentious in any way. So hopefully it's not coming across like that. But I feel like you could even say in Casey's situation that this, like, if you look at the right time or right place, right time, and then split it up into hard work and not luck, I feel like you could even apply it to his situation, because Casey in his film career was was on the grind for a long time. I think some of his popular early videos date back to the early 2000s. I think even before YouTube. That's before YouTube, right? When did YouTube come out?
I don't. It's like YouTube was a thing before it was bought by Google, and I don't know how big it was before the Google acquisition. So I'm honestly not sure.
Okay, it says 2005, and I'm pretty sure the video that I'm talking about was from 2003. Yeah. So he was just doing things. He was working hard. He was putting himself in a position, and then he had an HBO show where he, that kind of was a career break for him. And then really where things popped off is he kind of in between, I think, his HBO show. And then when he popped off with the blog on YouTube, he was still posting videos on YouTube, establishing a presence, even if it wasn't in the same style. But then, the market started moving towards vlogs, and they wanted vlogs. And then he was right there, ready to go. He had his foot in the door. He had a seat at the table. And then that was what allowed him to get to the top, in my opinion.
Yeah, like he, even before all that, he started off just kind of recording videos of his family and of his kids. When he has a story of he went out and he just decided one day he really wanted to start recording, and he maxed out his credit card to buy a camera and camera equipment, and just started going from there. And going through that, eventually, yeah, like you were saying, the industry has kind of been shifting lately, where less and less people are watching TV, and they're kind of cutting the cord, as they say, and now everything's kind of moving towards digital content and more personal or singular creators rather than a big huge production company like on TV or like things like that. And so I think with him, he was working so hard, just doing all those little building blocks that eventually led him to, start making those vlogs and that new wave of content that people, didn't even know they were looking for at the time. And once he started putting that out there, people really latched onto that, and this kind of propelled him to where he is now.
Yeah. And I guess now that I'm thinking about it, it would be unfair, or it might be incorrect to say that there isn't a tiny bit of luck that, the market lined up with what he was doing. Because what if the market didn't line up with what he was doing? I guess, I don't know if that's luck or, reading the markets. You could consider that skill or whatever, but some people might consider it luck. And I think it's valid enough to see it as a valid viewpoint. I think it's a valid viewpoint that luck, was played, I guess, a part. I think this isn't a black and white question. especially since we're talking about those high levels of success. Or that was the question posed. But in reality, and I guess in kind of just wrapping up, my big takeaway from this whole conversation was not the high level of success discussion, but rather the discussion about true success personally, on a personal level. What's important for you? What are your personal goals? And what can you do to achieve that? And then that is what equals happiness, and that what equals, those. And that's kind of just going back to the general theme of this podcast, working hard and getting things done so you can, that it's kind of, it brings that happiness, or at least puts you in a position to be happy, or at least is part of the equation to being happy. And that was my big takeaway from this episode, from this discussion, is that it's we can talk about top 1% of the 1%. We can talk about these celebrities all day long, but in reality, that's not reality for most people. Mm-hmm. What's reality for most people is personal success. And I guess that's what me and you are trying to achieve. I would love to be in the top 1% of the 1%, but in reality, that's probably not how it's going to, just statistically, that's not how it's going to play out. There's obviously, going back to the hard work, there's things I can do to, put myself in a position to win. But I think instead of focusing on getting to that, I should really focus on personal success, achieve that. And that's really, I guess, what's important, or what I'm learning is important after this discussion.
Yeah. Like I think a lot of people, it's very much just focusing on, okay, I have to get lucky, when really we can't. I think it's I don't think it's the best mindset to only be going into things just, hoping someday we'll get lucky. Like, you can't really control that. I think really focusing just kind of on ourselves, or not on ourselves, but like just on our own progression and our own grind. If we really work hard on that, that'll eventually, if we put enough time into it, enough hard work, we really grow ourselves, grow our skills, then eventually we could be in that place to where, okay, maybe a little luck will be involved and we can get to that next level. But I do think it is good to, kind of evaluate, what we want out of working, and what define our own success. And so then we can be working towards achieving to that level. And, you never know, maybe you could be one of those top 1% people, as long as you are putting in that work, to eventually have that collide with luck and get to that level.
I think one thing that maybe we can make a habit out of this, I don't know, we'll test it out, but I think something that could set us apart, because coming from our perspective, a lot of times when people do things like what we're doing, making something to put out there, it's coming from a top-down perspective, like, I've made it. This is my experience, this is what I've learned. Listen to me and listen to what I have to say. And that's really valuable, because, you can learn from what other people have done. But I think what kind of sets us apart is we're starting from the bottom, and we're doing, we're learning in real time, we're progressing in real time and learning in real time. So I think something that could be cool that we could do at the end of each episode is just talk about where we are and what's going on, maybe just for like 2 or 3 minutes. And then over time, we can see how we're progressing, and maybe that can help provide some extra value.
Definitely. Do you want to start?
Sure, I can. I guess I'll just give a quick recap of my week, in the parts of it that relate to this, what we've been talking about.
Sure.
So I just started up school for spring semester. I'm not taking a rigorous workload. I'm actually just taking one class, so it shouldn't be too bad at all. But I am thinking a lot about the future and what I want to do for my career and what I want to major in. I've decided that I want to major in finance, but to be honest, when I say finance, I'm interested in finance, but I'm not like, oh, I want to be an investment banker, or, oh, I want to do this or that. I kind of just like am interested in finance in general, and I really don't know what I want my specific career to be. And I know, that stuff works itself out over time, but I've kind of been thinking about that a lot. And then after this conversation, I think I need to sit down and have a talk with myself, a personal talk, and be like, okay, what is my own version of success? What do I really want? What do I want my parameters to be? What do I, because I have ideas about that, but I really kind of need to define it a little bit more. And it's not something that's going to be set in stone, but I at least have to define it so it can be changed and adapt over time. So I guess that's kind of where I'm at.
Yeah. Yeah. So for me, since I'm currently working at, I have 2 jobs right now. At one of my jobs, I did just recently have kind of our yearly kind of performance review, kind of going over the year. And I think I had a pretty good review. Was really praised for all the hard work that I've been doing and how much I've been helping the company kind of achieve their goals. Got a little bit of a raise, which is nice. So definitely helping me to kind of progress a little further in that aspect. But just kind of even with all of that, kind of after this conversation as well, I've definitely kind of thought, okay, how I kind of same thing as you actually. Like I kind of need to think about what I need to do to, kind of further and better myself so that I can continue to, expand my skills and, create those opportunities for myself with all those new tools or those new things that I learn, kind of discover there. Like I think right now I'm kind of in a place where I'm almost kind of, I want to say I'm chilling because I am, or just kind of staying steady at where I am, because I'm definitely working hard, but I kind of need to adjust what I'm, or kind of adjust my, I need to think about where I want to be, not just, next week or a few months from now, but, years down the line. I think I kind of need to be adjusting what I'm doing so that I can better myself and be more ahead later on than just kind of staying where I am and just kind of taking the natural progression of where I'm working now to get to that next level. Maybe not top 1%, but still some level of success there. So that's kind of where I'm at right now.
Sweet. We learned a lot during this conversation. I learned a lot, but what the great thing is there's a lot to do. There's, even though we're constantly progressing, it's a constant progression, and that's pretty exciting for me. So I really appreciated this conversation and I took a lot away from it. I hope those who are listening also took a lot away from this, and thank you, Sam, for joining me as always. Thanks, man.
Thank you. Always glad to be here.
Shout out to everyone who helped us out today, and both Andrews. Big shout out. So, all right, we'll see you guys around.
See ya.